Hello, welcome back to the Sunday Serving channel. What a gorgeous day. It's cold out here today. So here we are, being inspired by the hope, the truth, and the message of the gospel of Jesus Christ. It's great to be back on this January day. And last week we read the story from the Gospel of Mark about Jesus casting out a demon, and other stories of healing, the healing of the mother-in-law of Simon. Wonderful stories. So let's carry on from the Gospel of Mark right after those two amazing stories. Let's see here. Picking up Mark 1 verse 35. So it's interesting, right after that powerful story of the healing, and all the people came in the evening, and it says that Jesus healed many sick people and cast out demons. The next day, very early in the morning, while it was still dark, most of us sleep while it's still dark, but here it says Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place where he prayed. So that's interesting, that's instructive. After a busy day of healing, his popularity rising, the next day Jesus' response is to get up early and to go find a solitary place, a place in nature where he could be alone and he could pray. He could pray. Why would Jesus have to pray? To draw the strength and the Spirit of God, his Father, to get away from the humdrum, maybe to get away from crowds that were worshiping him or wanting healings himself, get away from popularity. He went off to a solitary place where he prayed. It says Simon and his companions went to look for him. So here it says companions, not disciples. This is early in the ministry of Jesus. Simon and the others, they went to look for Jesus. And when they found him, they exclaimed, "Everyone is looking for you." Jesus replied, "Well, let us go somewhere else, to a nearby village, so I can preach there also. That is why I have come." So that's amazing. So Jesus wanted to get away from the crowds of people who were looking for him, who all needed help, healing. He wanted to go somewhere new, somewhere different, where people didn't know him maybe, because he came for all people, and he wanted to bring that freedom, that love, that healing to others from other towns as well. So he traveled throughout Galilee, preaching in their synagogues and driving out demons. And let's read this next story here. It says, a man with leprosy came to him and begged him on his knees, "If you are willing, you can make me clean." So here a man comes along with leprosy, one of the most feared disease of the biblical times. Leprosy, a skin condition. It's thought by scholars that leprosy referred to anybody with a chronic skin condition, not just the disease we know of as leprosy, but whatever it is, they were people that were afflicted by these terrible diseases that society didn't know what to do with. They were infectious, they were incurable, and people that suffered from them were ostracized. They were cast out of normal society. They were unclean. They were generally poor. They had to live by themselves, beg for food. And here this man came to Jesus and said, "If you are willing, you can make me clean." So he had faith in Jesus. If Jesus is willing, this man said, "You can make me clean." Here it says, Jesus was indignant. He reached out his hand and touched the man. "I am willing," he said, "be clean." Immediately, the leprosy left him and he was cleansed. So when this man had this faith and said this to Jesus, it says Jesus was indignant. I'm not sure how to take that. Was Jesus upset at the man, or was he indignant by the way this man was treated by society? We know Jesus always has love and compassion, so I would think that that's probably what he was indignant at, but it doesn't tell us. But his actions do tell us. It says he reached out and touched the man. And that was a bold act. For Jesus to touch someone that was unclean would make him ceremonially unclean, something that most people wouldn't have the courage to do. But of course, Jesus loves everybody and was willing to cross any barrier. He had no fear to touch someone who was unclean, and that's what he did. He reached out his hand and touched the man and said, "I am willing, be clean." And the man was cleansed. And interesting, it doesn't say he was cured. It says he was cleansed. And I'm sure he was cured. His skin was cured. He was clean. But more than that, maybe this indicates the cleansing of the heart that really we all need, whether we are seen of as sick with a disease or not. We all have demons, diseases in our hearts that make us unclean. And Jesus is willing to make us clean, to make us whole, to make us complete. The story goes on. Jesus sent him away at once with a strong warning. "See that you don't tell this to anybody, but go and show yourself to the priest and offer the sacrifices that Moses commanded for your cleansing as a testimony to them." So Jesus wanted this man to go and do the ritual cleansing through the priest. He didn't want him to broadcast it. Maybe Jesus didn't want crowds coming to him again. But this man, out of gratitude, it says, did exactly the opposite. He didn't listen to Jesus in this case. Instead, he went out and began to talk freely, spreading the news. As a result, Jesus could no longer enter a town openly, but stayed outside in lonely places. Yet the people still came to him from everywhere. So here we have the amazing stories of healing, of being made clean, of Jesus not wanting that popularity, but wanting to spend time alone in prayer. That's something that we should take to heart. When things get exciting, even when things go well, we need to sometimes often take time for prayer, for silence. Alone in nature is one of the best places to pray, to gather strength, to gather that strength from God to face whatever the challenge is. That's what Jesus did. That's a good example. And I think the other is to know that the power of Jesus, he is willing to cleanse anything, a disease, a sick heart, a mind, a soul. So let's come to Jesus. Let's be like that leper, okay, who was willing to share his story and bring everybody to Jesus and long for this kind of cleansing, this kind of healing that the whole world needs. So what a beautiful story. What a wonderful day. And God bless you all. Have a wonderful week.